Hi, welcome again to Book Corner. Our special issue today is in English because I have a very special guest, and I want to call him my friend because I love his shows. It's Chris Rivas from Call Me Cat. I guess this is the latest show we are seeing you in from Fox. Welcome, Chris. How are you doing?
Hi everyone. Thank you. I'm great. I'm in a Stitcher office right now because we're working on a couple of podcasts with them,
Yeah.
including the book. So we'll talk about all that. Yeah.
Yes, so we're very excited because we're going to talk about your book. It's called Brown Enough, and the title to me was very intriguing. And I know you're going to explain why of the title. But first, I want to remind our friends who you are because we've seen you along the years in many different projects. Besides Call Me Cat, we saw you in Two Broke Girls, Grey's Anatomy, Rosewood. Now we're coming out with this new book. When we heard the news, we were very, very excited. We jumped at the possibility of doing this interview. Row House is your publishing house. And I was looking at this Facebook post that is circulating on social media. You do this impassioned speech about being
Yeah.
brown and what brownness means. It comes down to having a brown skin tone, living in the US. Your family, if I'm not mistaken, has roots in the Dominican Republic.
And
So
Colombia.
you talk about the meaning of all this as you grew up in this country, as you were breaking ground in your career in Hollywood. So what can you tell us about what inspired Brown Enough as a book?
Yeah. So many things. I mean, my whole life inspired it. I would say a couple of catalyst points were. We'll talk about enoughness first. I think as a child, I really battled feeling enough. I think that's something humans can recognize. Am I enough for this job? Am I enough for this space? Am I Latino enough if my parents didn't teach me Spanish? Do I dance salsa well enough? Do I do this well enough? If I don't like this food, but I like this one, what is brownness? Am I enough? Am I getting it right enough? And then another catalyst was Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's this beautiful writer and great thinker, was giving this talk in a library. And I went to see him speak. And he often speaks about race in America and black and white and black and white. And I asked him a question. I said, where does that leave me in the conversation? A Dominican, Colombian, Afro-Latino brown man in America. And he said, not in it. And I thought it really sort of crushed me. What does it mean to not be in it? In this conversation of black-white, what does it mean to take up space? What does it mean for my brown body? What does it mean to identify as brown? And so I started this journey of uncovering what brownness meant in a world, which really means brownness to me is the embodiment of living in a non-binary way. He, she, black, white, this, that, pass, fail. What does it mean to be more fluid, more in the middle? And I think we need more of that in this country, in this world, really. And so I wrote this book, and this book, has my journey in Hollywood. It talks about, dating white women. It talks about meditation. It talks about climate change and the role that our brown bodies can take in all these spaces.
Mm-hmm. When was the encounter with this writer and thinker?
I would say the Ta-Nehisi Coates thing happened in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, in Los Angeles. Cool.
Yeah, well,
you live in Los Angeles, correct?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And when did you start the
yeah.
process of writing the book and putting all your thoughts into paper or computer in this case, and then into paper?
Yeah, well, I've always written. I've won the Moth a few times. I don't know if you know the Moth. It's like a live performance for personal storytelling.
With a very loyal following.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Moth kind of changed my life. I knew I wasn't the person who could come up with a James and the Giant Peach, but I believed there was enough wisdom in our own lives to explore it, to look at our own lives. I believe that everything is a story, one you've been made to believe or chosen to believe, and knowing the difference is profound. And so I have always written about my own experience. And then I got a couple of offers after I wrote this play called The Real James Bond Was Dominican, which is also a chapter in the book. It's about Porfirio Rubirosa, the Dominican man that James Bond is based on, which is also a podcast that you can listen to now. It's called The Rubirosa.
Yes.
Everywhere you listen to podcasts. And I wrote this play, and a scene from that play got turned into a New York Times article in Modern Love. And it went really viral. It went kind of crazy. It was about dating white women. And then all these people were like, you should write a book, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find what the book was. And I met an incredible book agent, and she was very patient with me to really uncover what this thing was. And so I officially got the deal in 2020, and it's coming out October 11th. And it took about, a good year to really do all the puzzle work of the book. What goes where, what are we saying, taking all this writing and putting the puzzle together. But what we've birthed is something really beautiful and needed in today's world.
What do you expect will happen with the book, with your book, Brown Enough? And who are you trying to reach? Because like we saw before, right, with the moth and so on, you are trying to reach not an Afro-Latino community or a Latino community. You're trying to disrupt this Anglo world that is so, tightly close to us sometimes. So are you trying to reach them? Are you trying to reach Latinos? Tell us a little bit about this aim. Who do you see as the reader of your book?
Yeah, so I imagine, and this has already happened, many Latinos of all kinds, of Latinidadness, will support the book, and it is for them, because I am also, a Latino in this American world. But it is also for anyone who doesn't clearly identify as Black and doesn't fall neatly into whiteness. If you don't have the diasporic community or safeness of Blackness, but you also don't feel comfortable with white, it is for you. And what we have noticed in sort of these beginning of touring of the book and speaking at conferences is there's so much more brownness than there is this idea of white and Black. Right? There are more shades and hues and colors and experiences than we can even comprehend. And so this book is for everyone in that middle space. And so it is not just for Latinidad, but it is, for Indigenous, Native, Middle East, Pakistani, like Asian.
West Indian.
West Indian, South Indian. We all have to deal with this. We all have to deal with this white-Black world. And so what does it mean for us to take up space in our brownness?
I love it. And I love that this book is also going to take physical space in national bookstores. People have to pick it up. People have to read it. People have to support. Thank you so much, Chris Rivas. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new book and the new podcast.
Thank you very much. Bye, y'all.